Hey, so today I want to talk about Quit Lit. And if you haven't heard about Quit Lit because you're pretty new to sobriety or being sober curious, it's a whole genre of books that talk about quitting alcohol and how sobriety can benefit you. And it talks about people's stories and struggles and the joy they found. So it's all good stuff. And I think Quit Lit has such a special place in my heart because, book nerd. Um, but I think just connecting with others, because you might not have anybody else in your life. You might not have examples. You might not have people that have reach out to you and support you, but you can find these people in these books. And that's why I think it's so important to dip your toe into Quit Lit at least a little bit and see what you can find. These are only some of the books that I've read, but I'm going to share some of my favorites with you. First one, Sober Curious by Ruby Warrington. It is what it is. It's Sober Curious. It talks about like what Sober Curious is, what it means, what are some of the benefits of giving up alcohol, how to go about being sober curious. So it's a good book to start with. Sober Lush is super fun. It's little vignettes, little stories about bringing sort of that lushness to your life, because I know one of the things I struggled with when I first was thinking about it was like, oh my God, what am I going to do now that I'm not drinking? It's silly because you can do literally anything you want when you're not drinking, but it was like, oh my God, if I'm not drinking, I'm not going to have any fun in my life. And Sober Lush gives you all sorts of tips and fun things to do. This is another good one, Christy Coulter. Nothing good can come from this. It's just her story of being a woman, high-powered, high-functioning executive, and what alcohol was doing to her life, how it was making her feel, and how she recovered from that. Another book's really great book, We Are the Luckiest by Mccown. Same concept. It's her story. But it's so powerful to hear other women's stories and to find yourself in them. Maybe your entire story doesn't, you don't connect with everything that these people say, but it's just, you see yourself in pieces of their story, and it feels so good to know that you're not alone. So this is We Are the Luckiest by Laura McCown. Codependent No More by Melody Beatty is a classic for a good reason. It sort of busts down everything you think you knew about what codependency means. It really just sort of comes down to that you are the only person you can control. Literally can't control anybody else. So how to sort of get out of that cycle and just start living your life. So highly recommend. This is actually the very first book I read when I was thinking of getting sober. It's called Happy Hours, Alcohol in a Woman's Life by Devin Jersild. And I'm not sure if it's still in print. It must be, but she is not the one with the alcohol issue. It's her sister. And she comes from a very researchy perspective, but I loved it. And because it talks about trauma. It talks about how women and their alcohol use is often tied to trauma. And that's sort of like all the traumas, like the big T traumas and the little T traumas. And it's so powerful how she ties that all together, how alcohol affects women differently than men. She just breaks down a lot of myths, and I really liked it. Quit Like a Woman, Holly Whitaker. Just again, her story of being, like a high functioning, great job, all the things, but feeling that hollow emptiness inside and using alcohol and drugs to fill it up, and how she sort of changed that, all the things she shifted, and where she is now. And then this one is not Quit Lit per se, but it's just a really good book, Permission to Feel by Dr. Mark Brackett. Just a really good book on feelings and the abundance of feelings. And because when you drink, you're drinking to numb your feelings, and you numb the joyful feelings and the scary feelings. You're numbing everything. So this can just be a really good book to help you get in touch with your feelings and what they are, and how to name them and claim them and work through them, and that it's okay to feel them and to sit with your feelings. Like, that is okay. So that's what I have for today, and a few of my favorites. I have a whole bunch more that I can dig into on another video, but I thought just to get you started, there's some books you can put on your list. So good luck, and drop me a comment below. I'd love to hear if have you read any of them, or if you do go read them, what your thoughts are. I'd love to know. Take care. Bye.